Hey guys, first of all, I just want to thank you all for reaching 900 subscribers. It's been an amazing journey so far, and honestly, I hope we grow more as a community and just me as a YouTuber. Now, a lot of you have been asking for my settings, so I will just get right into it. What I do, I go through here. Now, just in the general game settings, what you really want is your head shake to be on low. Now, I don't have any reason, or there is no reason why you should ever have this on high. It's mostly useless, unless you really want that. All this, you can just copy as so. This is all up to preference, to be fair. This is just information. Now, performance is great. You should probably always have this as always show, as it will display what your ping is in game, how much FPS you have, and everything else. Now, I would recommend in the image settings that you, first of all, disable VSync, and that you enable the main screen frame rate limit. This essentially means that you won't get any unnecessary lag spikes in the main menu. You don't really need that high of a frame cap in the main menu, so it's just good to have. I think it caps out around 60, 62, as you can see here, but it's just good to have. Now, view distance, I like to have on high, just so I can see further. It does mean that bushes will render in a lot more at further distances, so it can be a bit of a hindrance. I just like it personally. Some people would recommend you have this on low. If you play Armory a lot, definitely play this on low. Shadow quality, you can have this on low. I have it on medium, but it's not required. Resolution, definitely have it on either medium or high. It just essentially means that everything, your screen might look sharper. You can have this on high too if you really want to. It just might affect your performance a bit more. I've got a fairly good PC, so it's okay for me. Post-processing, this will just, whatever your game, whenever you're running around, whatever you're looking at, will process, like, earlier, before you actually get to that area. So if you're looking towards Motel, Motel will process and load. This might cause some lag issues on certain PCs, but you can keep it on medium, low, or high, depending on what you need. Texture quality, I would recommend keep it on high. It makes the game pretty, prettier. But if you're suffering with performance issues, if you're getting less than 100 frames, definitely put it on low. Effect quality, low. This will just be smoke. This will be sparks, anything of the sort. And it just means that those little graphical images that appear will have better effects. You don't really need this, just put it on low. Vegetation, I'd also keep on low. You don't really need this to be high, it's just leaves, grass, anything of the sort. Shader quality. Now, I would put this on medium, because it does seem to affect the internal shaders of buildings. So having this on low seems to make the internals of buildings slightly darker, from what I found. But at the same time, if you have it on high, it also negatively impacts your game. Lighting quality, I like it on medium, but you can have it on low too. Now, if we move on to sound, I keep master volume 100. I use IEMs, so I like to have this on 100, just so I can control my audio from my screen, like so. I usually keep it at 44. But that just completely depends on your set of IEMs or your headset. Now, spatial audio I do have on. I think it makes it better or easier to find footsteps, but some people might disagree. So just test it out. See, maybe chuck nades in the shooting range. See if you can pinpoint where they're at. If you chuck it and then look left and right. That's how I test it. Mic volume, that's totally up to you, Mike. Now, post-processing. I have a fairly bright monitor. I have a, it's a Ultra Gear G27, I believe. 14-inch with 1440p. Now, I keep my brightness fairly high on my monitor, so around 30%. So I keep my brightness in-game at 0.9. That's all I need. Saturation, I found that anything between 1.1 and 1.3 is usually good. I like it on the higher end, so I keep it at 1.31. Contrast, you want this to be as low as possible without making your game extremely pasty white. Now, if you're an armory, if you're on any map other than armory, you can have this at the lowest setting and it shouldn't make any difference. But if you're inside of armory, what you really want is between 0.55 and 0.6. The issue with having it lower than 0.55 on armory is that it causes this almost flashbang white effect, where you can see everything properly, however, everything blends in with everything else. So someone at a far corner of a room will be so pasty white from the illumination that you won't be able to truly distinguish them from the background that they're in. It just makes everything kind of iffy. Now, sharpness, this is actually very important. So with a 1440p monitor, I'd highly recommend putting it on the lower side of 2, because if you move it around, there's quite a bit of a width inside each number. So 2 is fine. But if you're playing with a 1080 monitor, I would highly recommend moving it up to around 3, maybe the lower or higher end of 3. Let me just put it back. So, I won't actually change that. Now, with controls, I keep my settings, I like to keep my sensitivity between quite high, like 0.48 to 0.5. Now, just for reference, I have a G305 wireless mouse, and I keep my DPI at a solid 800 no matter what. So my mouse DPI is at 800 all the time. My in-game sensitivity is 0.48. I've known people to have 800 DPI but also play at 0.5. I do that sometimes. The aim sensitivity is also totally catered to what you need, but I play at 0.26, again, at 800 DPI on my mouse. But I do like it lower if it's just in the morning and I'm waking up, because I can't exactly get those flicks that I need. So in the morning when I'm cranky and waking up, I'll lower it to 0.25, and later in the day once I'm warmed up and so on, I might actually increase it to 0.27. But if I'm just hopping on middle of the day, I'm fully awake and I just want to game casually, I'll put it at 0.26. I don't know why. I just like it that way, but usually I'd say most people would like between 0.26 and 0.27 at an 800 DPI mouse. I think that's the comfortable ratio, where you've still got the speed, but you've also got the control. Now, free camera sensitivity, you can have this at whatever you need. 0.46 is perfectly okay. As for everything else, one thing I would highly recommend you actually do turn off. I've known some creators tell you to actually turn this on, but it has hindered me a lot of times and got me killed. So, what close backpack when hit does is when you're hit and you're inside your backpack menu or looting anything, it will automatically close your backpack as soon as you get hit. However, what this has actually caused a lot of the time is I will be in my backpack, I will hear footsteps coming round the corner, I will close my backpack at the same time that I get hit by an enemy player or an AI scav, and what I'll do is actually put me into the menu of the game, so the game will take me out of the backpack, and since I've already pressed escape, it'll put me into the main menu, in which case there'll be a split second where I have to press escape again in order to get back into the game. So, personally, I'd say just keep it off and close your backpack yourself. That way, there's never that situation where you get hit at the same time as you close your backpack and you accidentally go into the menu while in game. Keystyle, I have no clue what this does. I think it just changes the default, but my settings are custom anyways. So I play with lean and left and right on my mouse buttons. So I've got two side mouse buttons, which I use to lean left and right, and I just have it as a hold so I can quick peek. A lot of people might not like this. I know a lot of people just like the default of Q and E. But the reason I don't have Q and E as my lean is because I prefer to move around and have Q and E. Let's find it. You can copy any of these settings. I'll just quickly scroll down for anyone who wants it. These are all the settings. Like so. Now, Q I have down as discard backpack items. It's very easy to get to, and it's a button you can press a lot. So if I'm in an inventory, or if I'm trying to loot quickly, I'll just quickly tap Q over anything I'm hovering on, and it will just drop it. That way I don't need to drag anything to the right, and do any of that shenanigans. I personally like it. Now, E, I have replaced with switch scope magnification. So that means that if I'm running forward, or moving around, I can quickly tap E, and then change from a 1 times to a 4 times scope. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna change any of this. But yeah, those are my settings, for anyone who's interested. Now, I'm obviously not the best player in the world, like my accuracy is not the best. But I'm more of a strategic player. I like to hit Mosin shots. I like to run at people with shotguns. So if you like my playstyle, do feel free to copy it. Anyways, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.